Hello, and welcome to the career.place webinar. I am Melissa Dobbins, CEO and founder of career.place. Today, our principal compliance analyst, Alex Desmond, will walk you through compliance and hiring. But first, a quick introduction to career.place. Take a look at these pictures. Can you tell which one is the CEO or the teacher or the engineer? Our biases affect our perception, impacting who we hire. And by the way, if you chose a picture because it doesn't look like the teacher, yeah, that's bias too. So now tell me, who is the teacher or the engineer or the CEO? To remove our biases from the hiring process, we must remove what causes the triggers: identities. That is exactly what we have done with career.place. In most solutions, it all starts with a resume, full of that biasing information. And the candidates are known. And they're evaluated by telling the story. Who hasn't heard the question, "Walk me through your resume"? The process itself is also inconsistent, with each candidate being asked different questions, often by the same interviewer. So at career.place, we do it differently. We start with the job, not the resume, defining what is required for success first. And because we don't begin with a resume, we can keep the candidates anonymous, removing biasing triggers. That allows us to pivot the evaluation process from telling the story, "Walk me through your resume," to allowing candidates to showcase what they're capable of, all in a process that is consistent. So every candidate is evaluated the same way by the same standards. The career.place evaluation process acts as a funnel, replacing those long hours of resume sifting and follow-up screener phone calls with an efficient process that results in candidates who are highly qualified to your standards, saving you time and effort. We do this in a simple 3-step process, starting with the qualify. Those basic needs for the job, from needing a driver's license to go from facility to facility to knowing Java, what are the basic requirements for the job? Candidates who pass this stage then go into demonstrate, where they can showcase what they're truly capable of through scenario-based questions. For example, if you're hiring someone to help with candidate experience like this, then you can ask them questions about what drives candidates, allowing them to show you how they think, how they will approach a problem for you and your job. For those candidates that pass this stage, they go into show, where they can showcase how they're a good fit. At the end of the process, you are left with only highly qualified applicants. It's at this point that you can reveal them to unlock their information, such as their name or their contact information, their social media, their resume portfolio, and any other information they choose to share, so that you have confidence that the candidates you bring in objectively meet your qualifications, so you hire the best candidates for the job. But career.place goes beyond providing an efficient qualifying process that removes bias. Career.place enables compliance. And with that, I would like to introduce you to our principal compliance analyst, Alex Desmond, to show you how.
Thanks, Melissa. Hi, I'm Alex, and I'm super excited to be here today to talk about compliance in the hiring process, and specifically how career.place will help your organization save hundreds of thousands of dollars. Please post any questions to the Q&A section on Zoom. I will be responding to them at the end of my presentation. I'm sure that many of you have picked up on the trend that discrimination in the workplace has become an increasing area of risk for companies large and small around the country. These are just a few of the headlines highlighting how companies are getting into trouble related to discrimination, specifically regarding their hiring processes. This is happening because the candidates are either evaluated inconsistently, are being hired using irrelevant hiring criteria, or companies cannot produce the reporting materials needed to back up that their processes are fair and compliant. Compliance can make or break you as a company and seriously damage a company's perception among clients, employees, and customers. Yet, with the right tools, you can put these worries in your rearview mirror. But first, let's back up for just a second. With the passage of the Civil Rights Act in 1964, President Johnson started our country on a journey towards a more fair and equal reality. At that time, the Affirmative Action Plan, with the associated hiring quotas, was intended as a jumpstart to move the country forward on this journey. But the thing most people don't understand is that the Affirmative Action Plan was a means to an end, not the end. Out of the Civil Rights Act, the EEOC and OFCCP were created. Their sole purpose is to enforce anti-discrimination laws. And as you can see from these statistics, they've been busy. Over $367 million worth of fines between the two of them in the last year alone. If you are found to be in violation of the laws they enforce, there are serious and costly consequences. And these statistics, they don't even include the hundreds of thousands of dollars companies spend internally and externally to appropriately handle these investigations and lawsuits. The good news is, when it comes to compliance, the best defense is a good offense. Unfortunately, many companies have gotten stuck in a rut with existing applicant tracking system technology, internal hiring processes, and increasing diversity by using hiring quotas. But again, and I can't say this enough, the final destination is not quotas. It is implementing a candidate evaluation process and ultimately creating a workplace that treats everyone equally and without bias. So, what is a compliant candidate evaluation program? Say that 3 times fast. It's relatively simple, actually. It starts with identifying the necessary criteria to be successful in a position. Then you can evaluate your candidates in relation to that criteria in a fair and consistent manner to ensure equal treatment that can be demonstrated to auditors. The pièce de résistance is having proactive reports that can identify adverse impact being experienced by a protected class, which enables you to ensure a compliant and diverse hiring program, which government agencies also love to see. So, we've all been there when it comes to hiring. Someone is copying and pasting from an outdated job description, using requirements that likely have nothing to do with the job anymore. 3 to 5 years of experience for an entry-level job? Really? These kinds of issues are the kinds that often get employers in trouble because typically these requirements weren't actually necessary from the position at all. And inadvertently or not, they end up filtering out protected class applicants, in which case adverse impact can come into play. Whether it be requirements, knowledge, education, skills, or any other criteria, these are the areas that you need to be identifying for each position you post from the perspective of necessity in order to avoid any compliance-related issues down the road. The way CareerPlace works is we start off with industry standards, straight from ONET. That includes an editable job description and list of responsibilities. Once you've decided which job description and title closely match what you are hiring for, you can go in the job profile screen and edit all the details to match your needs. Next, you move into the qualify screen, where you are prompted to review everything from general requirements, compensation, education, certification requirements, etc., so that you can dig deeper to accurately define the needs of the role. Career.place has given you the framework so that you can focus on clearly defining the requirements for the job and therefore have a compliant process. You can even create specific knowledge questions to ensure that the candidate's abilities meet the needs of your organization. These questions, as you can see, can be tailored to your needs, with multiple answer style options made available to you. You can also set a timer that specifies exactly how much time the applicant will get to respond to your questions. Once you've identified what the necessary criteria for the role is, you need to be consistent on how it is delivered to applicants. The process needs to be the same for each applicant when applying for a job, regardless of how they were sourced. This is so critical when it comes to government audits and investigations, because it shows them that you treat all your applicants equally. Whether they are an employee referral or sourced by a recruiter, they all need to get asked the same questions relevant to the position in a consistent, simple, and straightforward way. This part of the process is similar to the screener questions recruiters spend hours having to do live with applicants. An applicant either meets the requirements or they don't. If they don't, they won't continue with the application. And it's all documented. If you need to produce where exactly in the process an applicant failed to match the needs of the role, it's right there at your fingertips. If the process is consistent, then you've already won half the battle towards ensuring fairness. However, bias, unconscious or not, is everywhere. By removing the resume and keeping applicants anonymous, you are considering all applicants based solely on their abilities. Career.place simplifies fairness by creating anonymized names for each applicant. Associated with the anonymized name, you can see at a glance their ratings on application assignments they completed. Their identifying information is withheld until you decide that they have proven their qualification for the position and you want to unlock them. Once unlocked, you will have access to all their information, including their full name, resume, contact information. You will be able to message them directly through career.place to coordinate the final steps in your organization's hiring process. And finally, reporting capabilities. To be compliant, make sure that all notes and applicant responses accumulated during the hiring process are retained, because they will be requested upon investigation. You also should be actively using your hiring statistics to keep an eye out for any adverse impact that may be occurring. And by the way, checking your adverse impact statistics only once a year is probably not good enough to keep the auditors at bay. A robust reporting solution will allow you to proactively make adjustments to your hiring process that may be inadvertently screening certain minorities or protected classes out. In addition to retaining all applicant process data required for an audit or investigation, our system automatically breaks down the statistics to identify any adverse impact affecting candidates of a protected class. We also provide this in a statistical report format, and it can be exported to Excel for further analysis. One effective way to use this data is, for example, if you are experiencing challenges hiring women into your organization, you can actually see where you are losing them, in this case, in the qualification stage. It allows you to pinpoint where you may need to make adjustments to your approach going forward. And with that, we've come to the end of my presentation. Let's see if you have any questions for me. In closing, I want to say thank you to Melissa for bringing me into this webinar today, and to you all for joining us. For more information on career.place and compliance, please visit our website and our blog. I have authored a couple of posts on compliance topics and have a few more on the way. If you have any compliance-related questions regarding career.place or how it can help address areas of risk in your company, please feel free to reach out to me via email or on LinkedIn. Thank you.